The following program is the work of the broadcast students at the British Columbia Institute of Technology. Bcit Magazine features news stories from around the Lower Mainland which were produced over the last week. Responsibility for the content of the show rests completely with the students and their instructors.
Coming up on Bcit Magazine, a new price on packaging. Wasted food? There's an app for that. And Lunar New Year celebrations bring communities together. Good afternoon, I'm Laila Khader and welcome to Bcit Magazine. You can now return milk and milk alternative containers for a small refund at recycling depots across BC. But our reporter Maurice Katz learned that change hasn't gone down smooth.
We all know it. Just like I'm wondering why. I know.
The new 10-cent milk carton return policy came with some speed bumps for local recycling centers.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? We also feel how you feel, to be honest with you. Yes.
There were verbal altercations between staff and binners, mainly because of some confusion about when people can return their milk cartons.
So the biggest confusion about it is that the milk container has to have a best before date of February 1st. The reason behind it is that government start charging deposit from as of today. So if the deposit that's paid prior to that, there was no deposit.
Another issue was clarity.
Sorry about that. This is just part of the 29th.
I think the most difficult part was to know what is good and what is not. Like what we should take and what we should not. Whipping cream, coffee cream, and unfortunately we cannot take those ones.
I personally might get confused because, honestly, I thought these were good.
These challenges have taken a toll on the staff.
It means for us, it's extra work. It will get extra busy for us. We gotta be hiring more people, obviously, and it's been a pretty tough day today.
Despite some of the frustration, for many binners this was a welcome change.
Well, it gives me a little more revenue to work with, and right now things are being a little tight.
Binners are hoping that eventually milk cartons will become a regular part of their returns. Maurice Katz in Vancouver for Bcit Magazine.
If yours is like most households, 25% of your residential garbage is spoiled food. However, thousands of people in Vancouver say they don't have access to healthy food. As our reporter Callie McTavish learned, some groups are trying to fix this problem.
All this perfectly good food was destined for the landfill. Organizations like Vancouver Food Runner are trying to change that.
I can't believe that this much bread, and this is just one very generous store.
They are the missing link between retailers and food banks when it comes to rescuing food.
I mean, imagine, I think there's over 1,500 volunteers, I think, and imagine everybody getting to do this kind of food to move it around where it's not wasted.
Well, a huge load today.
Vancouver Food Runners supply a number of charities, including the YWCA Crabtree Corner, Union Gospel, and City Reach Care Society.
Before, we just served about 100 families. So with COVID, we grew a lot, from 100 families to 1,000 families.
The Vancouver Food Runners model takes the logistically complicated problem of connecting food suppliers and charities and solves it with an app.
It's incredible the power of this particular tool. It's really like an Uber Eats for free surplus food and powered by a network of volunteers.
Because of organizations like Vancouver Food Runners and City Reach, over $3.2 million worth of food was saved last year.
So we used to buy some food and then we had just little donors, small donors. And now all our food is rescued.
The food waste problem is enormous, but so is the opportunity to solve it. Callie McTavish in Vancouver for Bcit Magazine.
This year's Lunar Fest will be a bit different because it will showcase art from different cultures. I put on my reporter hat to take a look around. Lunar Fest is underway to celebrate and welcome the Year of the Tiger. These lanterns feature original art from around the world.
Our slogan for Lunar Fest is celebrate like no other, and that's because we really do invite all sorts of different cultures to come together to celebrate with us.
The culturally inclusive celebration also included performances by a variety of artists and acrobats. A Punjabi artist is featured on a lantern with an image known as Nazar Batu.
Is a mask that people often put outside of their doorways at their homes or places of work to ward off the evil eye or to scare off the evil eye.
The lanterns also feature indigenous, Taiwanese, Filipino, and Canadian artists, all taking a stand against the anti-Asian hate.
The very many other communities that we have engaged in the past, and we really try to make it a very acceptable and open and very warm space for anybody to come and take part and learn more about too.
Even the mayor of Vancouver joined in the fun.
This is a lantern that will fold out, and it has a little surprise inside. I'm not going to show you. You're going to have to get your own.
But this festival has an important message. In 2020, Vancouver had 98 anti-Asian reported hate crimes, which is the highest in North America.
This is the importance of this is to make sure cultures understand each other, but often that's not enough, and we have to all push back against anti-Asian hate.
Jack believes there are many cultures and communities in Vancouver facing discrimination.
It's really important for us to show solidarity with the Asian community and to stand up for them, right? We've all been through there. We've all faced different levels of discrimination through our lives. So I feel like, we know what it feels like.
The lanterns are now displayed at 2 different locations, Granville Island and Vancouver Art Gallery. Layla Khadir in Vancouver for Bcit Magazine. After the break, animals from Afghanistan arrive in Vancouver, and Simon Fraser University makes a rare purchase.
That's the one.
You're listening to BCIT's The Crow. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night. And these are your stories for 11 a.m. I'm Hugh Perkich, and you're listening to BCIT's The Crow.
Tuning in to the Andy Shire Show here on AM 1680 The Crow.
BC officials just released a new COVID-19 update.
The Canucks' playoff hopes continue to dwindle as they lost to the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-1 yesterday.
And you're listening to BCIT's The Crow.
Welcome back to Bcit Magazine. The opening ceremonies of the Winter Olympics are set to kick off in Beijing tomorrow night. The CBC has the exclusive rights to broadcast the 2022 Olympics in Canada, but CBC News is warning their viewers that journalists could have their information gathering monitored and possibly compromised by the Chinese state. Dog and cat owners from Afghanistan were reunited with their pets in Vancouver this week, thanks to a joint international effort. Our reporter Alexander Marlowe hits the tarmac to bring us this story.
I'm waiting to see him.
This happy dog, looking for a slice of pizza, just got off a long 30-hour flight from Kabul. On Tuesday night, after months of preparations, a Russian aircraft full of 300 pets landed in Vancouver. When the evacuation in Afghanistan happened in August, many families had to make the tough decision to leave their pets at the airport or in the hands of Kabul Small Animal Rescue.
Before the plane left, we had over 450 animals in our care. I mean, the work that goes into keeping them alive and healthy and happy is It's brutal. We're really, really enthusiastic about the Canadian rescues that have just opened their arms.
The rescue has gone through multiple hurdles, from receiving export approval from the Taliban, flying over Ukraine and Russian conflict, and ensuring every pet has proper documents. In Canada, several rescue organizations have stepped forward to volunteer and aid these animals.
I think it's really remarkable that a number of organizations would come together the world over to provide an opportunity for these animals, and I think really to show what's possible when people work together.
Approximately 80 pets will be returning to their families that managed to evacuate in the last few months.
So we have quite a bit going to the United States when they've rested. Because of the CDC temporary suspension, the dogs will take a little bit longer to be reunited with their owners. And there are other dogs and cats that are going across the globe to Asia, Europe, and other places in the world. So it'll take some time before all that can happen. But for us to be able to reunite these animals back with their rightful owners is absolutely the greatest gift that we can be given.
The effort to save more cats and dogs will be continued in Afghanistan, while these dogs behind me are going to find new homes in BC. I'm Alexander Marlowe, BCIT News.
We're joined right now by our reporter Alex Marlowe. Alex, can you explain what the preparation process in Afghanistan was like before the flight?
Thanks, Leila. So back in Afghanistan, they've had to get multiple health checks as well as vaccine cards, and they get approval from the Taliban government to export all those animals to Canada. And on their way, they've had to go through Ukrainian and Russian conflict, which caused a lot of stress for everyone. And so now, with numerous funding internationally, they have finally arrived here in British Columbia, and everyone is so glad that this is all done. Back to you.
Thank you, Alex. The Canadian Olympic and Paralympic committees are joining the Musqueam, Squamish, Lillooet, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. The group is hoping to bring back the Olympic Games to southern BC in 2030. Every university student knows that libraries are full of knowledge and history, but some books are especially rare and important. Our reporter Joe Perez takes us on a tour.
Hi, welcome to Special Collections at SFU Library.
Thank you. SFU's Rare Books Library has just received an exciting new edition, a collection of letters written by St. Catherine of Siena in the year 1500. But the Special Collections team wasn't as interested by the contents of the letters themselves as much as the way they were printed, and by whom. That's Venetian publisher Aldus Manutius. Around here, they just call him Aldus.
Aldus printed them as a way to demonstrate his orthodoxy. So to show that I am printing works that are going to be accepted and popular.
So why exactly is this Aldus book so exciting?
The first appearance of 5 or 6 letters in italic are printed in the book in 1500, and it's printed on a book that St. Catherine's is holding in an illustration. His major innovation was to popularize the small book, what they called the octavo in those days. Today, it's the equivalent of a paperback-sized book.
We're really interested in purchasing titles that help demonstrate key moments in the evolution of book history, recognizing, okay, I'm looking at this text, it's from 1500, and there's marginalia. So there was some 16th century reader who is responding to this text. There is something very powerful about just being physically with the text.
Although the library refused to confirm how much they paid for the new Aldus collection, SFU recently purchased a lesser book for around $60,000.
The students of Burnaby and the Lower Mainland more broadly are very fortunate that they have access to this collection, and the people at SFU, as you know, are very willing to engage with students and scholars.
In Burnaby, for Bcit Magazine, I'm Joe Paris.
If you have any questions regarding the show, you can contact us at bcit-broadcast.com or bcitnews.com. That's our show for today. Join us again, same time, same place next week. I'm Layla Khader. Thanks for watching Bcit Magazine.